This is a very crucial moment in the life of our party. President Buhari tells APC members, advises withdrawal of all pending litigations against one another within his party fold. President Buhari has asked members to settle for internal reconciliation, warning that the mutating disagreements could lead to self-destruction of the party with dire consequences. What does this mean to the ruling APC ahead of the Edo and Ondo governorship elections in September? Can the party get it right and avoid experiences reminiscent of Zamfara and Bauchi states where the APC lost to the PDP in the 2019 general elections? What more can the new caretaker committee do to fix the party in its ranks? Data feeds are coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms on channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Follow us on m.channelstv.com as well as on Apple, Android, Fire and Roku TV. Tweet at Gimba Umar CTV and use the hashtag State of the Nation. Let's get your thoughts in. It's prime time here in Lagos and this is State of the Nation. Welcome everyone in Nigeria and the rest of the world. I am Gimba Umar and this is State of the Nation. The unfolding drama in the APC has been professionally scripted. And in the coming days, more of the fireworks are expected. And that's according to analysts. The fall of the erstwhile national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshomole, for them was long overdue because of his incessant clashes with party stalwarts and his godfatherism posture in his home state, Edo State. Well, that's purely an opinion. Let's stick to the reality, shall we? At an emergency meeting in Abuja just yesterday, the party NEC was dissolved. The factionalized National Working Committee, the NWC, then set up a caretaker National Convention Committee headed by Governor of Yobe State, Malabuni. He was a former national secretary of the APC. The meeting, presided over by President Buhari in Abuja, also appointed Senator John Akpan Udodahen as the national secretary of the caretaker committee. The question now stands: did the president move against Oshomole? Take a listen.
To Mr. President, which have in the delegation the brand new chairman of the All Progressive Congress Caretaker and National Extraordinary National Planning Convention Planning Committee. He's happy that at last we want less distraction because Mr. President is conscious of the mandate given to him by Nigerians. And even though he bothers a lot about his party, but what dominates his daily action is economy, security, transparency, and the progress of Nigeria. But Mr. President is very clear that he received due legal and remember, before the 2019 primaries, Mr. President demonstrated to everyone in this country that he will never sacrifice due process for expediency. Even when it is convenient to extend tenure of the then executive so that we don't have a convention and primaries at the same time, Mr. President says no matter how tough it is, we are going to do the correct legal thing. So Mr. President would never do anything which the constitutional provision of party, talk less of the country, does not allow him to do.
that sets the ball rolling. Did the former chairman of the APC, did he cross the line? The party himself, and Adams Oshomole rather himself, has been under fire, and today he stands down as the chairman of the party. As alleged by some party members, they say that he crossed the line. But let's go into the nitty-gritty of this, and joining us right now is a legal practitioner, a lawyer, Emmanuel Anene. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us from our Abuja studios. You've been watching very closely the unfolding drama in the APC. Let's begin with that. Clearly, if you will, clear the air for us. Do you think that everything that has happened in the past week was a legality?
Yeah, good evening once again, and good evening, Nigerians. Thanks for having me. Let me put the issue to proper perspective. Oshomole campaigned for the incumbent governor of Edo State. And on the strength of his campaign, the governor was elected. Then there may be misgivings between the governor and Oshomole. And that led to Oshomole's ward suspending him. That suspension was not challenged by Oshomole himself. Then after a point, a group of party members went to court to say, since you have been suspended by your ward, you can no longer continue as the national chairman of APC. Now, Oshomole got an order restraining the execution of that injunction, stopping him from parading himself as the national chairman of APC, having been suspended. Now, he got an order staying that order. At the end of the day, he did not vacate the order obtained by Victor Gaidom, saying, since Oshomole has been suspended, I am now the most ranking officer of the party. I should step into the shoes of Oshomole as the acting national chairman of that party. That order obtained by Victor Gaidom was never challenged nor vacated. So what happened was that the order stopping Oshomole from parading himself as national chairman was vacated by the Court of Appeal, meaning that the order given to Victor Gaidom subsists because there was no vacation of that order. Oshomole did not do anything to challenge his suspension at his ward. Oshomole also did not do anything to vacate the order obtained by Victor Gaidom. Now, President Buhari, strict to sensu, recognized the faction led by Victor Gaidom, and that is right. That is the position of the law. Forget what some elements in National Working Committee of APC did by suspending Victor Gaidom. That is to overreach a valid subsisting order of the court, and that is against due process, and that is against rule of law. Now, fast forward to what happened at the National Executive Committee of APC. The issue is this: for you to hold National Executive Committee of APC, you must give 14 days notice to all the members of that National Executive Committee. Or if it is an emergency, you give 7 days notice. The issue here was whether this all-important notice was given to all members of the National Executive Committee of the party. Now, that is number one. Number two, another issue is whether Mr. President can summon the members of National Executive Committee to hold meeting in a hallowed chambers of Executive Council of the Federation and decide party affairs. That is number two. Number three is whether in the manner the National Working Committee of APC was dissolved, is it legal? Was there any proper motion tabled before the National Executive Committee calling for dissolution of National Working Committee of APC, having lost trust and confidence on NWC? That is another thing. Is this whether the Attorney General of the Federation has the constitutional or legal right to swear in the members of a political party in Nigeria? These are the thorny issues there. I think most of the actions that happened in the last National Executive Committee of APC are illegal.
So, okay, if you say that is the case, Let's take this back to just before the elections in 2019, the general elections, where we saw the APC basically losing two states, a couple of states, as a matter of fact, including Zamfara State as well as Bauchi State. Some say that this is where it all started. Do you think that that's the case with regards to Adams Oshomole, who is no longer the chairman of the APC? Is that where his infractions started? According to the party, he has committed some infractions that are unforgivable.
Yes, look at it this way. A serving governor of Nigeria, Edo State for that matter, who was screened by the political party, who was also screened by INEC, contested the election, and his qualification challenged up to the Supreme Court. And now, on a day Nigerians should be celebrating June 12th, Democracy Day, you disqualify a sitting governor saying that he didn't have requisite qualification to contest in an office he's still sitting as a governor. You know what that means? What it means is that Edo State has an invalid governor sitting in that place. No, another thing is this. We should ask ourselves. I don't know about the politics of APC, but I'm talking about the legality of what is going on. You cannot disqualify a governor. If you read the case of Atiku against Buhari in the last presidential election petition tribunal, the issue of Buhari certificate came into force, and you saw how the Supreme Court resolved it, and we saw how Supreme Court has resolved plethora of issues as to certificate of a particular office holder.
If I may just butt in for a second or two, just so that we're able to balance this discussion properly. Let's bring in Mr. Yekini Nabina. He's the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC. I want to thank you so much indeed. He joins us via telephone from Abuja. Let's get this straight, if you will. Did anyone in the APC, your party, commit an infraction so bad that the party had no choice other than to take decisive steps? Help us understand this.
Hello?
Can you hear me, Mr. Yekini?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I was just asking you that did anyone commit any form of infractions in your party so bad that the party had no choice other than to take decisive steps? Help us out with this.
What the president has done is the right thing. Okay?
Okay. The lines are really bad. Let's just try to fix that for a minute or two, and then we'll get back to you as soon as those lines are clear. But Mr. Anene, you were on the trajectory of explaining a couple of few things. Please, could you continue?
Yeah, what I was saying is this. A serving governor represented himself for nomination. His party disqualified him on a day we should be celebrating our democracy. That is complete electoral injustice meted to him. Now, this same qualification was what he presented about 4 years ago, and it was cleared by the same party. And the same party said he's engaging in anti-party activities, taking the party to court. That is his fundamental human right. Irrespective of our political parties are presenting today, you can't take them to court, you can't do this one, you can't do that one. It is the fundamental human right of any Nigerian citizen, for that matter, if he feels that his right is likely to be trampled upon or having been trampled upon, it is exclusive right to approach the court for redress instead of taking the law into his hands.
So is that a desirable, if I may come in just very quickly, let me chip this in, is that a desirable step, you think, going to the courts?
Going to the court is a desirable step. It's a constitutional step. If you didn't go to court, what you do, mind you, before this time, the governor made a lot of steps to resolve the issue, but he could not. He met with Mr. President about twice or so. He met with other leaders of the party. Other governors intervened on his behalf, but they couldn't resolve it. So what do you think the governor would do? The best thing the governor would have done is to approach the court for redress, if any. But the governor said he's not even going to challenge his disqualification. Nevertheless, an appeal committee of APC sat in an appeal that was not before it and upheld the decision of the Spring Committee. That tells you that everything is a yeoman job. That tells you that that is an electoral injustice meted out to the governor. Now, if you look at the illegality that transpired in last APC and NEC meeting, somebody that is aggrieved, like Oshomole, for instance, can approach the court to say, my NWC led by me, was it validly and legally dissolved? That's number one. The meet was 7 days notice to have an emergency meeting observed. That's number two. Was Mr. President proper to have held the meeting of APC in a council chambers instead of the National Working Committee, instead of APC Secretariat? Then whether inauguration did by the Attorney General of the Federation is valid.
Okay,
These are the questions that
let's go.
And if
let's
you look
quickly
at
go into a very quick break, and then we'll come back and continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to State of the Nation. We're still looking at the conundrum of the APC, even as they prepare for the Edo and Ondo state elections. In our Abuja studios is Mr. Emmanuel Anene, a lawyer of distinguished repute, as well as joining us now, is Mr. Yekini Nabena, Deputy National Publicity Secretary. Hopefully we have the lines clearer now. If you can hear me, Mr. Nabena, I did ask you when we tried to connect with you very clearly that did anyone, in your view, did anyone commit an infraction so bad that the party had no choice than to take decisive steps against that person?
Yeah, when you look at it, it got to a point that we have a lot of litigation, against the party himself, internally, not even from outside. So what the president did, he has just put the party in a path that we know, in the path of victory. So at least whereby we call on all parties to withdraw all their litigations, their court cases and all that. I think that's the best way forward.
So can you authoritatively tell us that the APC stands united today?
Yeah, today, so far I'm concerned, we are united. Anybody that goes against this judgment is now fighting for his own selfish interest. That's what we ask any of the NWC member that will say today that wants to go to court. What reason do they want to go to court?
So then, what's the position of the caretaker committee that has been set up? Will it also include, dousing frayed nerves within your party fold?
Yeah, because what the NEC member, as the Deputy Publicity Secretary and other members of the NEC, we are going to support the caretaker committee to make sure we achieve this goal. Because any individual is enjoying it because of the party. Without the party, nobody's nowhere. They are all nowhere. So we must make sure the foundation of the party is put in place right.
So then, we're looking ahead, actually, and seeing how well the committee is able to fix the problems within the APC. Now, a lot of people are questioning the role of Adams Oshomole in your party. Does it stand to, gain anything for your party, do you think?
Like my own view is that Adams Oshomole, as former chairman of the party, he has contributed his own part. He has done his own bit.
So he has done his own bit and he can go away?
Yes, he has done. Yeah, so far as at this point now, there's nothing he can do about it.
So one of the actions that Mr. President talked about that has to do with ratification was setting up this screening committee for Edo State primary, for the primaries that has already happened. Would you then say that all is now well for your party with regards to Edo State?
So far as Edo State is concerned, the party is now set. The table is set now for us to win Edo State. It's all about the party. People should begin to understand that it's about the party, not individual interests. At this point, if everybody will keep their differences behind and make sure that they work for the party to win Edo State.
Okay,
at this point, it's not about Adams Oshomole again. It's all about APC now.
It's all about APC, okay.
Yes.
Let's flip over to Mr. Anene in Abuja studios. Many believe that the actions of the president has saved the party. What do you make of that submission? Do you think that the APC today stands safe?
The action of Mr. President is too little, too late. They've already lost a sitting governor, a deputy governor. The structures of the APC in the state that are loyal to the governor have all moved to PDP. And the Adams Oshomole himself had a feeling that needed to be assuaged. Do you think the way Oshomole is being treated is okay? Now, Oshomole has also his friends across the country, and they will be feeling cheated and chickened out of the process. Now, what I'm saying in effect is this. The action of Mr. President is still little today. He has not saved anything, and the APC is getting disintegrated by day. Many people in APC are feeling disenchanted, and many of them are angry with the system. You cannot dissolve the National Working Committee of a political party in the way and manner it was dissolved a few days ago. That is unconstitutional, that is illegal, and that is undesirable in a democracy.
Is there a process? Is there a process to go about to disengage that National Working Committee?
You cannot just summon members of National Working Committee duly elected by a political party and just like in a manner of headmaster, you dissolve everybody. You are not a military regime. You call them to your office and say, gentlemen, I'm okay with your service. Go, and your service is needed no more. That is not the way it is done. The way it is done is that whoever is at the helms of affairs of APC at that time, which is Victor Gaidam, should issue a 7 days notice, if it's by emergency, or 14 days notice if it is ordinary, to all the members of National Executive Committee of the party. And also INEC will be notified to monitor the process. Was INEC monitored? The answer is I don't know whether INEC monitored it, but if INEC was just informed few days to the convention, few days to the meeting, it is also illegal. So the proper thing should be done. The proper thing is to issue 7 days notice to all the members of the National Executive of the APC, and the valid motion will be properly moved and seconded, calling for the dissolution of the entire National Working Committee of a political party. If that is done, there will also be a valid motion calling for the setting up of a caretaker committee to take the place of the dissolved National Working Committee of a party. That is not done. What we saw was just you summoned people together in your office and dissolve them without recourse to due process, without recourse to APC constitution that all of them are talking about, without recourse to the due process of the law. That is what we are against, and that is what we are condemning. Let the proper thing be done. If you want to remove Oshomole, follow due process and remove Oshomole. Oshomole cannot be national chairman of APC forever.
Mr. Nabina, he said the removal of Adams Oshomole is an illegality. How do you respond to that?
When you talk about illegality, the NEC has the power to dissolve or to make any decision. So if NEC is called and that's the decision of NEC, and so there is it.
That's a good place to let it rest. I must thank you sincerely, Mr. Yakini Nabina, the Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC. Hopefully you get when all of that is rescheduled now, or reshuffled, if you will, we may be seeing you flying another designation in the APC, as well as Mr. Emmanuel Anene, a lawyer of distinguished repute. Always good to have you to speak with us here in State of the Nation. And to everyone who has been a part of the show, many thanks indeed for watching. I am Gimba Umar, and this is State of the Nation. Bye for now.